Good morning, beautiful people. You're welcome to the sports segment of the weekend show, and I'm Maya Adams. And it's a beautiful Saturday. And what is going on? The World Cup is coming, and it's just 8 days to go to the Winter World Cup holding in Qatar in just a couple of days. And the frenzy is on a high, the hype is real, and the thrill is on another level. The euphoric feeling when being called up to represent one's native colors in the footballing culture, no feelings matches up to this. Out with the old, in with the new, as we would see a sensational amount of youngsters gracing the prestigious tournament for the very first time. On the flip side of the coin, the sadness of missing out due to injury have left some players distraught, while others are heartbroken as they couldn't match up to the bill for selection. With 8 days to go, here are some notable facts the FIFA World Cup that you must know. The FIFA World Cup is the most viewed sporting event, and for context, it was recorded that half the world's population, a total of 3.5 billion human beings, tuned in to watch the 2018 World Cup, which was held in Russia, which was a 9% increase from the 2014 World Cup edition held in Brazil with 3.2 billion viewers across the world. The Qatar World Cup will mark the 22nd edition, where all venues for the competition will be held within a 55 kilometers radius, an efficient gesture from the host of the tournament to limit the proximity of visitors across the world, making it the most compact outing since the inauguration in 1930. It's also notable to state that this will be the last time the World Cup will be held with 32 nations, as FIFA has now further communicated that the 2026 World Cup will house 48 countries. This sparked a lot of controversy, and talking about controversial affairs, FIFA has received several backlash about the human rights violation of migrant workers during the construction of the tournament structures. On the other hand, the host nation further received their backlash on their culture of display of affection because of the limitation they have stamped on. And furthermore, the FIFA president Gianni Infantino came out clearly to state that footballers, players, and organizations should focus on the beautiful game and leave politics alone. How ironic. The FIFA World Cup has graced us with, monumental moments. We're going to see the likes of brilliant young players who are going to be taking on the World Cup. We're going to see players such as Pedri, Camavinga, Tchouaméni gracing the World Cup this edition. It's going to be a brilliant outing for some of these youngsters in this edition. It's going to be graceful, it's going to be brilliant. And some of these youngsters who have been waiting to play all their life have now graced the occasion. But another sad side that we're seeing throughout the World Cup is the fact that some players are also missing out due to injury. We have Timo Werner, Diogo Dalot, Chilwell, Reece James, Lo Celso, Wijnaldum, Corona, and Paul Pogba. Some of these most players who are missing out due to injury. This is just a really sad sight for some of them to see. Some of them are missing out on injury, while a large number of them are also missing out because they were excluded from the squad. Players notable such as Sergio Ramos was excluded from the Spanish squad, Thiago Alcantara, David De Gea of Manchester United, Fikayo Tomori, David De Gea, and Firmino of Liverpool. Well, some of the lists from the World Cup has been out, and we'll go through those lists carefully now. We'll start with the defending champions, France, who brought out their list, and in goal they have Areola, Hugo Lloris, and Mandanda. In the middle of the park, they have Camavinga, Fofana, Guendouzi, and Tchouaméni. These guys are going to be replacing the last World Cup champions, Paul Pogba and N'Golo Kante. In defense, we have Luis Hernandez, Theo Hernandez, Kimpembe, Konate, Koundé, Pavard, Saliba, Upamecano, and Rafael Varane, who is also one of the winners from the last edition. And in attack, the French team are properly stacked with Benzema, who is currently the best player in the world, Kingsley Coman of Bayern Munich, Ousmane Dembele, who has found his new form with Barcelona, Olivier Giroud, who is finding a new daylight in AC Milan in the Serie A, Antoine Griezmann, who turned a new leaf with Atletico Madrid, Kylian Mbappe, we all know how brilliant he is. He was the best young player in the tournament on the last edition. And brilliant for Christopher Nkunku, who was also included in the lineup. And then we'll move on to the 2014 winners, who are Germany. Germany have also released their list with Manuel Neuer in goal, Marc-Andre ter Stegen of Barcelona, and Kevin Trapp. In defense, they have Amel Bella Kotap, Matthias Ginter, Christian Gonta, Thilo Kehrer, Klosteram, Ron, and Rudiger. In the middle of the park, these guys have Karim Adeyemi, Julian Brandt, Nicolas Fuluk, Shek Gnabry, Leon Goretzka, Mario Götze, who broke Argentina's heart in 2014, Ilkay Gundogan of Manchester City, Kai Havertz of Chelsea, Hoffman, Joshua Kimmich of Bayern Munich, Yusufu Mbukuku of Borussia Dortmund, Jamal Musiala, one of the most brilliant youngsters, Leroy Sané, and veteran Thomas Muller. Moving on to another team who released their list, 2010 champions, the Spanish team. Luis Enrique was on the news releasing his team. Well, sparked a lot of controversy and also by the players that were dropped. And in goal, we have Unai Simon, Rafa Sanchez, David Raya, and in defense, Carvajal, Jordi Alba, Spilicueta, Pau Torres, Gaia, Eric Garcia, and Laporte. In this defense, some people were wondering why Sergio Ramos was left out of this lineup. Luis Enrique further stated that they have no fear, and he has picked a team who he sees will dominate and play excellently at this edition of the FIFA World Cup. In the middle of the park, they have veteran Sergio Busquets, Carlos Soler, Koke, the captain of Atletico Madrid, Rodri from Manchester City, Marcos Llorente of Atletico Madrid, and the youngsters Gavi and Pedri. In front of goal, they have Ferran Torres of Barcelona, who just found his form. Alvaro Morata, who some people wonder how he still makes the Spanish squad. Daniel Olmo, we have Iñaki Williams Jr., Marco Asensio, the brilliant Ansu Fati. We have Yeremy Pino and Sarabia also in that squad. Another squad list that was also released afterwards was the Argentina squad, the 2014 finalists. Ascolani has released a squad with brilliant players in the lineup. We have Acuna Marcos, Alvarez Julian, Lionel Messi, Paulo Dybala, who also came back into the fold, Correa Joaquin, the Paul Rodrigo, Angel Di Maria of Juventus, Paulo Dybala, like I mentioned earlier, Fernandez Enzo, who's going to be replacing Lo Celso, who's missing out on injury, Joan Foyt, brilliant player from Villarreal, Gomez Alejandro, Gonzalez Nicolas, McAllister Alexis, Martinez Emiliano, Lautaro Martinez also of Inter Milan, Martinez Emiliano of Aston Villa. They were part of the players who won the Copa America for the Argentine side. Martinez Lisandro, so many Martinez in the Argentine team. Martinez Lisandro is nicknamed the Butcher for Manchester United. One of the best players in the world, some of the Argentine fans are looking at to win the World Cup is Lionel Messi, Molina Nahuel, Montiel Gonzalo, Otamendi Nicolas of Benfica, Palacio Ezequiel, Paredes Leandro, Petzela German, Rodriguez Guindi, Romero Christian of Tottenham, Rulli Geronimo, and we have finally Nicolas Tagliafico. That's the Argentine squad. While the Portuguese squad will also out with notable players there, brilliant players there. We can't leave out Cristiano Ronaldo is in there with the Portuguese squad with some brilliant players also there. Nuno Mendes, Joao Cancelo, Diogo Dalot. We have Rafael Leao of AC Milan, Ruben Diaz, Pepe also in there. We have Joao Felix of Atletico Madrid, and so much more in this Portuguese squad also. Looking forward to see how they perform in the World Cup. The Brazilian team also dropped their list, which sparked a little bit of controversy too, because some team players were also left out. Players such as Marcelo, Firmino, Gabriel of Arsenal. We'll read out their list for you. Alisson in goal with Ederson and Weverton. We have Danilo, Dani Alves, one of the most oldest players in this World Cup. Alexandro of Juventus, Alex Telles, Thiago Silva of Chelsea, Marquinhos of PSG, Eder Militao of Real Madrid, Bremer of Juventus, Casemiro of Manchester United, who is finding a brilliant form in the Premier League, Fabinho of Liverpool, Bruno Guimaraes, who's part of the Newcastle team, who are surging forward in the Premier League. We have Fred also, Lucas Paqueta, who's made his way into the Premier League, Everton Ribeiro, Neymar Jr., Vinicius Jr., Gabriel Jesus of Arsenal, Anthony of Manchester United, Rafinha of Barcelona, Richarlison of Tottenham, Gabi Martinelli of Arsenal, Rodrigo, and Pedro. Some brilliant young players here who are making their debut in the World Cup for the very first time. And let's go to one team in Africa, the Teranga Lions of Senegal released their list, and it was a shocking sight to see Sadio Mane included in the list, because earlier this week Sadio Mane was declared injured and will be missing the World Cup. There's a lot of outspark and outroar across the world of football, arguments and banter that are they forcing Sadio Mane to play the World Cup? Well, if they are, we wouldn't mind to see Sadio Mane at this edition of the World Cup in Qatar. I'll read out their list also. They have Seny Dieng, Alfred Gomez, Edouard Mendy. Those are their goalkeepers. The defenders, they have Papo Abdou Cisse, Abdou Diallo, Ismail Jacob, Kalidou Koulibaly, Fomose Mendy, Yusuf Sabali, and Fode Ballo-Touré. Those are defense. In the middle of the park, they have Pathé Ciss, Crépin Diatta, Idriss Gana Gueye, Papa Gueye, Cheikh Kouyaté, Mahmoud Loum, Namfils Mendy, Mustafa Name, Pape, Marta Sarr, and in the attack they have Boulaye Dia, Bamba Dieng, Nicholas. They have Nicholas Jackson and a lot more. Sadio Mane, Ismail Assar, and also players who are on that list. I mean, brilliant players there. And the Belgian squad, who are nicknamed the Red Devils, we also have them in here. Brilliant players there. Maybe the final time for the Belgian team to take the World Cup home, as a golden generation have not done anything as such. We'll wait to see if the Belgian team will be able to take the World Cup home. The England squad was also released, which also sparked a lot of controversy, specifically to the fact that Fikayo Tomori of AC Milan was left out after a brilliant outing with AC Milan last year in the Italian Serie A. Well, a player that was left out and nobody really felt the heat for was Jadon Sancho. While the England squad is really, really packed, and some people are quite happy for James Maddison, who made the squad. And moving on, finally, we have Uruguay also, who also have their list out with some really old players in there. We have Diego Godin, Edison Cavani, and Luis Suarez, who was also included in the list. Well, finally, we have the group stages out, and some of the teams are here. Group A, Group B, who would take home the championship. We'll wait to see in November. November 18 is the beginning of the World Cup, while December 20 is when the World Cup will come to an end. Who do you think will win the World Cup? Well, let us know in the comment section below. Well, finally, let's move to tennis, as the ATP NITO Finals 2022 will commence tomorrow on Sunday, November 13 to Sunday, November 20 in Turin, Italy. The ATP Finals is this year's end climax to the ATP Tour season. The events will feature only the world's best 8 qualified singles and double teams. The tournament will be held in Turin, Pala Alipito Stadium, which is Italy's largest indoor sporting arena. These 8 superstars will be looking to take the title from defending champion Alexander Zverev, the German, who is out injured from this season's tour. The green group has Rafael Nadal of Spain, Casper Ruud, Felix Auger-Aliassime of Canada, and Taylor Fritz, populated in the green group, while Stefanos Tsitsipas, the Greek, Daniil Medvedev, Andrei Rublev, and Novak Djokovic populate the red team. They were all drawn together, and they will play in a round-robin group stage. The opening tie of the tournament will begin with Norwegian Casper Ruud taking on Canadian Auger-Aliassime, while Rafael Nadal, the Spaniard, will meet American Taylor Fritz. Well, that's all we have for you from the sports segment of the weekend show. But now we do it.